Her Lord said unto her, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. When I think back over the years, in every memory, I am incredibly thankful for the type of mother Cleome was to me and my sister Vanessa. She took the commitment of being a mother very seriously. There was no ask too great or too small when it came to her children. She made countless sacrifices to ensure she provided a wholesome upbringing for us. Mommy made it her business to raise us in the church and with a strong faith in God. She taught us to be honest, hardworking, to have good manners, and to respect our elders. She would always say, your word is your bond, so you are to always follow through with what you say you will do. Mommy was one that you would call a disciplinarian. She did not spare the rod because she was adamant her children will not be spoiled. Both Vanessa and I each got our share of firm discipline, although I sometimes thought I got more than my fair share, but I digress. I remember a fateful day in primary school when I did something that was not as she expected. She found out about it, and that afternoon when she came to pick me up, she wanted to hear no excuses. And she disciplined me right there in the school parking lot for all to see. The running joke was, folks watching from afar assumed it had been my godbrother Cleome that bore the brunt of her displeasure, as he was the one that sometimes got into mischief. But today, we can set the record straight once and for all. It was me that time. One phrase I could still hear Mommy saying is, anything worth doing is worth doing well. It was a mantra for her and something she lived by daily. She had a spirit of excellence and demanded it in everything she was involved in or in charge of. Everything had to be in order. Mediocrity would not do. When she became principal, she had me spend countless days over summer break typing up handbooks for her students, for her teachers, and for the parents. She wanted to make it clear what they could expect of her, what she expected of them, but more importantly, what would happen if expectations were not met. As principal of St. John's, she drilled into her students that St. John's was the distinctive school of choice, so excellence was expected of them in all that they did. Mommy was a born leader. It came natural to her. She never expected anyone to do anything she wasn't prepared to do herself. I recall when she was leader of the junior choir here in St. Barnabas, she insisted my sister and I and all my cousins be a part. Eventually, I felt there were other interests I wanted to pursue, so right before one of our scheduled performances at St. Agnes, I told her, man, I don't think I want to be involved in the choir any longer. I tried reasoning with her and negotiating with her, and when that didn't work, I whined and I cried, but to no avail. She eventually put her foot down, and she said, I am expecting everyone to bring their children to perform, so there is absolutely no way my children will not be there. You are going to the performance, and that is final. I knew her well enough to know there was nothing more to be said about the matter. So suffice it to say, I was present and accounted for in St. Agnes that evening. As a teacher herself, Mommy expected her children to excel academically. Actually, having a mother who was also a teacher was sometimes frustrating. It seemed like she always knew our teachers. She had either studied with them, taught alongside them before, or knew them as part of the broader education community. And even if she didn't know them, she soon got to know them very well. So if either my sister or I misbehaved or did not apply ourselves in school, Mommy would find out right away. She would have none of it, and we were brought in line immediately. Education was sacrosanct to her. We were to get a good education, or we were to get a good education. There was simply no other option. She would admonish me often saying, you want nice things? You want to ride around in luxury and air-conditioned comfort? Well, you better go to school and learn your lesson. I grew weary of hearing her say this over the years, but I made sure to follow with her in her wise advice. Only once I had completed my second degree and my accounting certification did I have the courage to ask her respectfully to please stop saying it, because I had indeed heeded her ask, went to school, and learned my proverbial lessons. Mommy wasn't just a teacher, she was an educator, the way she would say it. She cared for her students as if they were her own children. She poured everything she had into educating and grooming this country's future leaders. She loved her students, and they loved her back. Nearly everywhere we went, there was someone exuberantly yelling, "Miss Woods, Miss Woods!" when one of her current or former students recognized her. It was like she was a celebrity. Vanessa sometimes got annoyed or a little jealous that everywhere we went, somebody would undoubtedly recognize Miss Woods. I even remember there was a time we were traveling internationally, and it so happened the manager at the restaurant we were visiting had been one of her students, and they were so excited and proud to see Miss Woods. And as you could imagine, we ate really well and really free that day. Mommy, I think, was a not-so-low-key fashionista. She spent years building up a wardrobe that served her well, no matter the occasion. In fact, I distinctly recall half of each summer was spent in Freeport with two of her very close friends and fellow teachers, designing and sewing their wardrobes for the upcoming school year, while us kids frolicked in the pool nearby. The other half of the summer was spent on family vacation, most times in Florida at somebody's mall. My mom and her sisters, I believe, coined the term shop till you drop, because that's what we did on vacation day after day. Only if we kids were lucky, we were able to convince the adults to maybe squeeze in a trip to the hotel pool, a nice restaurant, or some amusement park or other. But the funny thing is, to this day, anytime I walk into a department store and smell the scent of new clothes or assorted perfumes, it takes me right back to those wonderful memories of summer vacation with Mommy shopping till we all dropped. Even after she retired and would spend time with me in Detroit, a trip to the mall was always an exciting outing for her. She'd come back with one or two purchases, but really her joy came from walking through the mall, window shopping, and rummaging through department store clothing racks. As evidenced by the crowd here today, Mommy worked tirelessly here in St. Barnabas. She gave freely and selflessly of her time, her talents, and her treasures. She fed the hungry, she cared for the sick, she visited the shut-in, and was a prayer partner for many. She truly was doing the Lord's work here on earth. Mommy was a virtuous woman of God and a prayer warrior. She knew the Lord, and she made sure all with whom she came in contact knew him also. She was always ready and willing to pray for anyone or anything. Many people, especially at work, often ask me how I'm able to remain calm in difficult situations. And I usually smile to myself because I know I have a secret weapon. And that's a praying mother who was raised by her own praying mother. Therefore, I stand here as one, but I come with countless prayers of my mother and my grandmother standing behind me. So I believe there is nothing in this world my sister and I cannot conquer, thanks to the prayers Cleome has prayed over us. She's also left us with a strong faith and an impenetrable relationship with God. As I kept reminding my sister as we led up to this difficult day, We may be sad for a while. We may not understand all that he has planned. But thanks to Cleomie's prayers, we will be just fine, Vanessa. And like the songwriter said, Mama prayed for the Lord to bless and keep her children, and to always let the love of God abide. And the prayers that she prayed will cover us until we meet her on the other side. And may her soul and all the souls of the faithfully departed rest in peace. We love you, Mommy.
Oh, she prayed for the Lord to bless and keep her children. Always let the love of God abide. Oh, and the prayer that she prayed will cover us till we meet her on the other side. Mama prayed for me. My mama prayed for me. Anybody know it? Pray. I can hear it saying, Our Father is once more again. That your humble servant bowed in the humblest way I know how. I want to thank you for last night's laying down and this morning rising. I want to thank you for a reasonable portion of health and strength. I want to thank you that the bed I laid in was my cooling board, and the sheets I laid in was my winding sheet. I want to thank you for letting my moments roll on a little while longer. Prayed for me. Mama prayed for me as she did. Hallelujah. Oh, I still hear Mama. She took the time out to pray for me. Yes, I still hear Mama pray. She been dead and gone for 17 years, but I still hear Mama pray for me. Hallelujah.
Well done,
Hear Mama
thou good and faithful
praying
servant. Enter thou
for
into the
me.
joy